Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Nightcap. I'm your host, RhinoMan, and today's show, we got a channel for you that's not a sorry guys, not a slot channel, but they have similar issues on YouTube. We're going to be talking to her. She's going to be a fantastic guest, but we'll learn what she's going through in her niche and see how we can compare that to our niche. But first, as I always do, I got three questions for you. If you weren't in the gambling niche, which niche would you be in? Where would you go? Would you go to cooking? Would you go to how to instructional? What niche would you be into? That's the first question. The second question is, what advice would you give your best friend if they were going to start a slot channel? Where would you tell them to go? What would you tell them about starting a slot channel? And what kind of advice would you give them on growing a slot channel? And then the final question is, how do you learn? Do you learn from hands-on like I do? I learn from trial and error, or do you learn from instruction? Or is it a combination of both? Right now, with the technology that we have and with YouTube, you can find out anything about anything by following video instruction and trying it out yourself. So there you go. This week, this episode's channel supporter of the day is Kino Kid and Kino Candy. You guys know them. I want everybody to go over to their channel and wish them luck on their upcoming marriage. It'll be here in March. It's like a week or two away. So go over to their channel, wish them luck. You see it scrolling across the bottom. Kino Kid and Candy are getting married, and that's going to be an awesome event. Okay. So, who do we have in the chat here today? So far I see Gamblers Unknown. We have something to talk about him. He's got an event coming up and we're all part of it. So, definitely. It's a slot machine. Simon, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. The Gambler After Dark. Hey, he's in the house. He's saying hi to all the pretty ladies. You know how he does the thumb and the finger with the pretty ladies. Yo, Ange, thank you for coming in. Rocco Slots. Hey, bud, it was nice talking to you today. I really appreciate it. Goldie Slots, thank you for coming in. And there's one of my mods right there, Sister Yoshi. Thank you for coming in. I hope you had a fantastic evening last night with your daughter for her birthday. Congratulations. I know you guys were out late last night. Let's see, Yo Ange is in here, Sister Yoshi. Rocco Slots, Goldie Slots, saying hi to everybody in here. Kissy Cat, thank you for coming in. Super Squirrel, always nice to see you in these chats. I appreciate it. Okay, guys, let's get her in. Let's find out what's cooking in the kitchen with Karen. Hey, Karen, how you doing?
Hey, guys.
So, what's for dinner
I'm in my
tonight?
kitchen.
Oh, yes, you are. What's for dinner tonight?
We had grilled pork chops and cauliflower fried rice.
Oh, nice. So
we're trying to keep it a little bit low carb.
Okay. James Coupler, thank you for coming in. Cauliflower fried rice. I tried that once, tried to make it myself. Didn't really come out the best.
Do you know, I have a video where I made it myself too, but the one I got at Costco recently was way better. And I didn't have to make it.
Okay.
Highly recommend that.
The Costco version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you mentioned Costco. I'm just gonna jump in there. Do you do a lot of shopping at Costco?
We do. We're addicted to Costco.
Okay.
We go every week.
Yeah.
It's only 10 minutes from our house, so it's too tempting.
There you go. I call Costco the $100 store because you can't go in there without spending $100 no matter what time of day you go.
You know, I would be happy if we only spent $100.
Right. TL Slots is in the house. Thank you, TL, for coming in. Randy the Slot Wizard, thank you. Melly loves slots. I appreciate you coming in.
Hi, everybody.
So tell us about how you started your channel and first of all, how long have you been on YouTube?
I've been on YouTube a year and a half.
Okay.
I started August 15th.
August 15th.
Around there, yeah.
So I noticed that, on a lot of my videos and a lot of my lives, you're in there. So obviously you're a gambling fan.
Okay, let me tell you, I wanted to be a slot machine channel really bad. And the reason I even started my channel was because, the pandemic, I lost my job and I'd been sitting around the house for like 3 months and my husband was about ready to kill me. And because I was bored and he's like, you need to do something. So I was just like, and then my friends were like, start a channel, a YouTube channel. And I wanted, like I said, I wanted to do a slot machine channel, but my closest casino is an hour and 45 minutes away. So it just wasn't working, like getting there enough to film content. So my backup plan was a cooking channel.
Okay. Now, for everybody that doesn't know, I mean, we're mostly slot channels. I know Weddle Slots is in the house. Anthony R is in the house. You know, we're slot channels. There's a lot of slot channels out there.
Yes.
Tell us about the competition in the cooking world.
It's brutal. You guys have probably hundreds and hundreds of slot channels to compete with. I have hundreds of thousands of cooking channels to compete with. So the cooking niche is probably one of the most saturated YouTube things that you can compete with. So it's always an uphill battle.
Definitely, and you gotta bring your A game all the time.
Yeah, you do. And it's definitely a learning experience. I just kind of learn as I go. I haven't been doing it that long, so I just try to do a little bit better every month.
There you go. So what are your struggles with doing a cooking show? For us, it's money in the machine and
Hmm.
filming the machine.
Right.
That is about it. We could put our videos together. We could do all the editing, everything else. But essentially, our money in and filming the
Hmm.
content, trying to get the bonuses, yeah, that's a struggle. But for you, it's probably a little bit different because you got to go grocery shopping. You got
Right. It's a whole process. First, I have to figure out what I want to make. And then I, write down all the ingredients that I need for the shopping. And then I go to the store. And then I come home. And then like the day I'm making a video, I kind of like lay everything out and figure out what I want to do. And then when I shoot the video, it probably takes me about an hour. And then, of course, editing is not my strong suit. So that takes me even longer than shooting the video.
Melvin Lopez says, I love cooking, eating, and gambling.
Oh, me too.
There you go, bro. I think we're all in that same boat.
Yep.
Um, but I think, hey, I could do a cooking channel. I cooked for my kids for many years. I could probably jump right in there and start doing it. But the struggles are different because how do you do your whole thing? Like, do you film the entire process of you cooking and then go back and edit it out, or do you film steps?
No, I film the whole process. I film the ingredients and then the step by step making it. And then at the end, I usually do like a taste test. And I
Okay.
always hate like eating on camera, but I do it anyway. I try to take like the smallest bite possible. And then I just do all that. And then usually I don't feel like editing it that same day because I'm just over it. So I'll wait a day or two and then I'll edit it. And just to give you a little background, the first year or so that I started my channel, my husband was my videographer, my editor, my supporter. I mean, he's still my supporter, but just in the last 5 or 6 months, his job has got really demanding. So he's no longer able to help me film or edit. So I had to learn that all myself.
Okay.
So you can learn it, and I'm not tech savvy whatsoever, and I did finally learn it. So you can do it.
TL Slot says, Karen, wait. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. He says, Karen, we could watch you cook all day.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
So when you talk about how you filmed the whole thing and your husband was a videographer and now you had to learn it. Where'd you turn to learn it?
YouTube.
There you go. Right?
Uh-huh.
Um,
I learned everything on YouTube. I just Googled, how do I do this? How do I do this? And you'll find it.
okay. So, I mean, there's a couple of things right there, guys. It's one is when you're searching for something on YouTube to find out how to do it, you put how do I X or how do I Y. Um, so if you could make your thumbnails and your titles similar to how do I get a bonus on a Dragon Link
Yeah.
or whatever, there you go. That's how people find stuff. So
Yeah.
um,
And those are the things you have to learn in SEO, the search engine optimization. Especially, I don't know, I'm sure it's the same for slot channels, but for cooking channels, people love to see the most amazing recipe, the best recipe, the easiest recipe, like all those like key phrases.
yeah,
So I try to put those in my description.
like my biggest win ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it to a T. So with slot channels, we do a lot of collaborations. I know you guys do collaborations in your niche. Tell me about how you do collaborations and how that's helped your channel.
Oh, collaborations have been the best thing for my channel, for sure. When I started, you know, the first collaboration I did, I probably had maybe 800 subscribers, and I kind of befriended this one channel that had like 250,000 subscribers. I kept going to her channel because I loved it, and I was always commenting on every single video. And one day she emailed me and said, "Do you want to be part of my collaboration I'm having?" And I was like, "What?" I was just like this nobody little channel, and I'm like, "Absolutely." So she invited me. I did the collaboration, and in a week and a half, I got 500 subscribers.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm. So collaborations are definitely one of the fastest ways to gain subscribers.
Okay, so what is your collaboration for the month of February, just in case anybody out here doesn't know?
Yes, it was Air Fryer February. So we all did recipes featuring our air fryers.
Okay. So and that kind of collaboration, you have what, 10, how many people
Yeah,
are
generally there's anywhere from 10 to 15 channels. I think
okay.
this time there was 14 channels, and mine was one of the smallest channels. Most
Okay.
of the channels had over 50,000 subscribers. So I've been really lucky to get in with some big channels, and that really helps, of course, my little channel.
So
So
so when you do those collaborations, you guys put each other's names
yes.
in the
Hmm.
videos.
Yeah, every
So
time we do a video, we mention who started the collaboration, and we put their link, and then we put everybody else's link in the description so that you can go and watch everybody else and subscribe to everybody else.
okay, that's
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, and
Can
it would totally work in the slot community as well.
Yeah, that I think that would. For instance, we have St. Patrick's Day coming up. We could
Mhm.
do St. Patrick's Day collab and pick out 10 channels or something like that, and they would have to play that machine
With a leprechaun.
with the leprechaun. You know what I mean? So you could go to other niches. You could
Yeah,
find out what they're doing for collaborations and try and work it into your own niche and do that.
yeah, for
So
sure.
here's a question I have for you. You put out videos 2 to 3 times a week.
Hmm.
Where do you come up with your recipes?
You know what? What I how I come up with them is something that I would like to eat myself. I always say to myself, what do I feel like eating? And hopefully other people will like that. But I also get I spend a lot of hours on Pinterest. I have a lot of like cookbooks that I peruse and get recipes from there. And a lot of people will actually say, "Oh, can you make this? How about making a video about this?" So, I never run out of recipes.
Okay. Gamblers Unknown says, "I want to see Karen in the. I want to see in the kitchen with Karen collaborate with Olga Rosas. Olga Rosas is a huge slot supporter, and if you follow her on Facebook, she's always dropping these massive plates of just mouth-watering food on her
Oh,
husband, and he is one lucky guy because she feeds him so well.
oh my
So
gosh, Olga, is Olga in here?
yeah, she is.
My email is in my about section. You should email me and then we could maybe do like a little collaboration. That would be so awesome.
That would be fun. Definitely, because every time she posts something, we're all like, "Wow, that looks so good."
Yeah.
And to be honest, I found your channel, and I think I found it during the summer last year. And
Mm.
you had that roasted corn salad
Mm.
recipe. I tried that. It worked perfect to a T,
Yeah.
exactly the way that you did it. Love that. That is in my wheelhouse now.
Rotation.
So yeah, exactly, for
Oh yeah,
sure.
that's one of
So
my favorites.
that was good. But your recipes are easy to follow. Just watching your
Yeah.
channel. Myself, I get into the kitchen. I don't measure anything. I toss stuff together. I, pinch of this, pinch of that,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and just do it to taste. So your recipes allow me to do that without being, slapped on the hand by my mom or grandma
Right.
for
Yeah. My most of my recipes, except for the baking ones, because the baking ones you have to be more precise. But just the regular cooking ones, I'm all about adding your own touch. If you don't like a certain ingredient, leave it out. And my philosophy is generally 10 ingredients or less and 30 minutes to make it or less. Because,
okay.
we're all busy. We don't have a lot of time to cook. So there's a lot of cooking channels that are more gourmet, which
Okay.
is great, but a lot of people don't have the time to spend an hour or more making a meal. So
That's so true. What is the hardest thing about cooking for you?
the hardest thing,
Yeah.
probably if I make a recipe that I think that I really like, that I found somewhere, and I put my own little spin on it, and I take all the time to make it, and it's all done. I can't wait to taste it. I take a bite, and it's horrible. And I'm like, oh no, I just wasted 2 hours of my life.
Putting that together.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
obviously
And
that
of course,
video
I'm
doesn't
not
get
gonna,
out
even
there.
though I went to all the trouble of filming it, I am not gonna put it on video just so I can have a video. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. So growing up, you probably were in the kitchen with your mom and grandma quite a bit.
Yes. Since the age of 5, I've always loved cooking. Both my grandmas were excellent cooks. They taught me almost everything I know. My mom is alive. She's also a really great cook, but she doesn't like to cook as much as my grandmas did. So and they grew up, both my grandparents were had farms and they grew huge vegetable gardens, and it was a really good experience that taught me how to cook.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna do a couple of quick shout outs. I see CL6 slots in the house. Oklahoma Casino Review slots. Thank you for coming in. Olga Rosas, Lucky Obsession, Chris and Lou. Hey, thank you guys for coming in. Really appreciate it. Karen's telling us about her struggles right now in the kitchen and what she's done. So, have you made something for us today?
Yes, I absolutely have. Would you like to see some of it?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, pardon me with my camera. I'm just going to kind of scoot it back so you can see what I'm doing. Okay.
Perfect.
Now I know I'm a little bit far away, but hopefully you can still see. So I just wanted to make a few things for you guys. A lot of people ask me, what kind of appetizers can I make? If they're having like a get together or something like that. So I came up with a few ideas for you guys, and here's one of them. And this is a ham and cream cheese roll up, and you just take slices of ham and spread cream cheese on it, and then top it with a little slice of olive and put a toothpick on it, and people love those. When I did catering, I mean, everybody loved those. And then these are little chicken slider biscuits. You just take some Bisquick mix and just mix it up, and then make little tiny biscuits, and then just put some pieces of they're just frozen fried chicken breast fillets that I cooked, and you can just top it with whatever kind of sauce you like, and those are like really easy. Here, let me see if I come closer, you guys can maybe see these.
Barbara Castillo says, you got me at cream cheese.
See, they're like cute little sliders. And then here are the little cream cheese bites with the ham.
Nice.
So those are really good to have for a party. And now here's one of my favorite things. You're going to take some grapes, and you could also use strawberries or pineapple, and you're going to put them in a bowl, and you're going to add some champagne or some Prosecco, and you're going to let them marinate for at least 6 hours or even overnight.
You had me at champagne.
Yeah. So they're like drunken fruit. Okay.
Perfect.
And then what you're going to do.
Hey, that's what they call me sometimes.
Then what you're going to do is you're going to take them out, dry them off a little bit, and you're going to roll them in some sugar, and then put them on some toothpicks, and they make the most amazing, delicious appetizers.
Nice.
The sugar kind of gets hard on the outside and caramelizes, and they are so delicious. And for like a little fun twist, you can stick the toothpicks in like a grapefruit, and it makes like a cute little centerpiece.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then let's see. These are nice to have for like a little dessert. You just take a store-bought pound cake, like Sara Lee, and you just cut it into squares, and then you just dip the squares into melted chocolate, and then put a strawberry on top.
Nice.
And people love those too. And then you look all fancy, but they're super easy.
So elegant and easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just goes to show you don't have to go to a lot of work to make appetizers. I mean, people just like things on a toothpick, in my opinion. If it's on a toothpick, they think it's fancy. So those are like my ideas for like a little appetizer.
And those are awesome. So you mentioned catering.
Yeah.
Tell us, you used to be a caterer as well.
Yes, I did. Here, I'll move myself closer.
Okay, so did you go to school for cooking?
Yes, I went to culinary school, and after I graduated, I worked in a restaurant for about 2 weeks and said, that's not for me. Because inside of a kitchen, it's about 110 degrees. People are yelling, screaming. It's not a good environment. So I decided to start my own catering company. And I lived in Napa Valley. So I started a catering company that I did for 10 years. And I cooked for a lot of celebrities and wealthy people.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Napa Valley, catering, YouTube. What are you doing now? What else do you have on deck?
Well, what I want to do more of is get out of the kitchen and do more like restaurant reviews, winery reviews, that sort of thing. But since things are just finally opening up and everything, because before, like, you couldn't go in and do that sort of stuff very easily, but now things are kind of easing up a little bit. So I'm hoping to do more of that kind of thing.
Okay. And you sell wine too, correct?
Oh, yeah. My regular job is I am in wine sales. Yeah.
Nice.
So I go around to different stores and sell wine.
I drink wine.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
There you go. Okay.
Mhm.
So, do you have any kids?
I do. I have one son. He's 35,
Oh,
and I
wow.
and I have the best daughter-in-law. I could have not handpicked a better one if I tried. And I have two grandsons. One is almost 7, and one is almost 3.
Wow.
And I babysit them every week.
Wow. Wow. That's, yeah, that's quite a bit. You don't even look young enough to have a 35-year-old, to be honest.
I I'm plenty old enough. And that's another reason I was like, when I first started my YouTube channel, I'm like, I'm old. I don't know if I should even try to start a YouTube channel. But then when I did some more research, there was plenty of cooking channels that were older than me. So I was like, okay, I can do this.
So, thank you, Sister Yoshi, for the 4.99 super chat. Yoange had this question. Do you have a library of cookbooks at home?
You know what? I do have a bookshelf of cookbooks, but nothing like I used to have. When I got divorced, I sold about 500 cookbooks that I had because I just didn't want to deal with them. The more I was moving, I didn't have the space. But I was an avid cookbook collector. I would read them like novels. I mean, I would just like go to bed and like cover to cover read a cookbook. So I'm really sad that I got rid of so many, but I kept the like really special ones. So like for my mom and my grandma. So yeah, I do have some.
Anthony R wants to know, do you know how to pair food and wine? Because that subject always baffles him.
Oh yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, and if you ever need any advice, my email is right on my about section, and I am happy to help.
Okay, hold on. There was another question in here. Um, and thank you for coming in, Dallas Country Scratchers number 2. I have a question for Karen. Who was her inspiration?
Oh, that's so easy. Julia Child.
Julia Child. Oh, Sister Yoshi had already answered it.
Oh, really? She knew?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
loved.
ever since I was about 10 years old, on a Saturday morning, all of the other neighborhood kids were out playing, right? And they would knock on my door like, come on, let's go out and play. And I was like, it's 11 o'clock. I have to watch Julia Child. So she was my number one inspiration. And then about, I don't know, 10 years or so, years ago or so, I got to meet her in Napa. It was actually the year before she died. And that was like the highlight of my life.
Very
So
cool.
was such an amazing lady.
Yeah, I remember watching. I used to watch a lot of cooking channels, and that was my next question to you. Do you watch cooking channels? Not on YouTube, but like on a
Like Food
okay,
Network?
Food
Yes,
Network. Yeah.
I do. Not as much as I used to. Like before I started my channel, I watched every single cooking show you could possibly think of. I mean, I mean, Guy Fieri, you name it, I watched it. But now that I have a channel, I barely get to watch TV anymore. Do you
Right.
find that when you have a channel, and I'm sure other people have this who have channels, you don't watch TV as much anymore because, I mean, just like trying to keep up with everybody else's videos and answering all your comments, it's like 3 hours a day,
At least, at
at
least.
least.
So that brings me to the other question that I have. How long does it take you to produce a video for a cooking channel? For us,
Yeah,
$100 in, maybe 30 minutes on the machine, boom, it's
right,
done.
right.
So
I
what?
would say from start to finish, from when I'm going shopping to, putting all my ingredients out to filming to editing, it's like 2.5 to 3 hours.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And you do
And
that.
I couldn't. I put out 2 to 3 videos a week, but if I had a full-time job, there is like no way I could do that. I could maybe do one a week because I only
Okay.
work on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So I have, but I babysit during the week, 1 to 2 days a week. But that gives me still 3 full days that I can devote to my channel.
Let's see. Olga Rosa says, I love watching cooking channels, but when something sounds too complicated, I go to the next one. LOL.
Yeah, I agree. I've, you know, I watch so many cooking channels and a lot of them have way too many ingredients and it takes way too long. And, I think that's fine for some people, but like 80% of people don't have the time to do that. So,
Exactly. So how are you able to keep your channel relevant with so many other channels in there? You have what? How many subscribers?
I have 4,142 or something.
Wow. Wow. So how have you built your channel to do that? Is it consistency? Is it
Yes.
thumbnails?
Okay, it's a combination of everything. Number one is consistency. I
Okay.
I help a lot of smaller cooking channels. I belong to like a Facebook group that is for smaller channels, and people that are larger, they help out the smaller channels. And the consistency is so important. You have got to do a minimum of 2 videos a week, or your channel's never going to grow because people have to constantly see your thumbnail when the announcements come up or notifications, and if they're not seeing that, they're not gonna be interested in your channel. So
Lucky
that is
Obsession
definitely important.
Lucky Obsession says, "Do you like Chopped?" That's her favorite chat. That's her
Yes,
favorite.
it's one of my absolute favorite shows.
And then
Yes,
Kissy
and
Cat.
you know what I want to do? I want to do with another like friend cooking channel. I want to do like a chop thing, like where we each get like a mystery basket and we have to figure out a recipe with the crazy ingredients. I think that would be so fun.
See, that is an excellent idea for a collaboration video
Yeah.
that both of you guys could do. And I was going to touch base on that when we were talking about channels like for instance, you had thrown up Guy Fieri's name, Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives. We love that show
Yeah.
so much so that every time if I'm going to Houston or if I'm going to Louisiana, we'll look up that show specifically to see where they have
Yes.
restaurants at. And
Absolutely.
if you could incorporate something from the TV side and try and incorporate it into your YouTube channel, I think you'd be doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think it would be so fun. That's definitely my next venture I want to do. Yeah.
It's here's one from Dallas Country Scratchers #2. Karen, watching the cooking shows, have you taken their stuff and made it your own?
Yeah, I have for a couple recipes. Yeah. And
So I mean
that's the
that
thing. That's the thing about cooking channels. You don't want to like copy somebody's recipe.
I
That's
know,
where
but
it's like this fine line, you kind of have to like you see a recipe, but you want to make it your own, so you change up some ingredients and make it how you like it.
Rock and Rocco wants to know, can you cook Korean food?
You know what? I have not cooked a lot of Korean food, but my husband is Japanese, so I have cooked Japanese food.
Tracy J says, thank you for the 4.99 super chat, Tracy J. She
Tracy.
says, hi, please tell Karen she needs to put a happy face when she replies to my comment.
Tracy's one of my biggest supporters. She's amazing.
Let's see. I'm trying to look for some more questions in here for you. But, you know, back to making things your own ingredients and your own thing. It's all part of cooking. I mean, if you
Yeah.
could see something that, and this is what I tell people all the time. Look at different niches. Look at different creators' contents. Look at different platforms. If you see something, not that it's going to be, oh, I'm going to use that in my thing, but you're looking at it to get that idea that clicks in your
Yeah.
head. And that's why I have so many conversations with the Gamblers Unknown, Slot Sister, Chumba, Sister Yoshi, because when we're talking on the phone or when we're chatting with each other, we come up with ideas. We trigger ideas off of each other
Mhm.
just by having a regular conversation.
Yes,
So,
and I have a group of friends who have cooking channels, and about once every couple weeks we get together, about 6 or 8 of us, and we brainstorm on different ideas that we can come up with and stuff. So it's kind of like the same thing.
so is that how you guys come up with your air fryer February?
Yeah, well, sometimes that's how we come up with collaborations, but other times it's just like, oh, what are you doing on your channel that's different from what I'm doing on my channel? Is there some little tidbit that you're doing that I'm not doing? And you could do that with slot channels. You could be like, what is that one thing that you're doing that makes your videos more popular that I'm not doing?
Yeah, definitely. Kissy Cat wants to know, have you catered for the movie studios?
I have not catered for the movie studios, but I have catered for movie stars.
Okay.
Yeah, like
And
private dinners. There are a lot of celebrities that live in Napa Valley or that have houses there. So probably one of my most famous ones was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I did a private dinner for him. And
nice.
he wanted. Have you ever heard of Wiener Schnitzel? It's like an Austrian,
Yes.
kind of the thing of Austria.
Oh,
So
not Wiener Schnitzel down the street.
no, not the hot dog place.
I'm joking.
It's so, I'm going to be honest. I had never made it before. So here I am, all this pressure, cooking for, him. And it was a party he was throwing right before he was governor. And it was like one of those fundraisers. And that's what he wanted for the main course. So I had to do a crash course on how to make it. But all in all, it turned out good. And he said it was almost as good as his mom's. So
Wow.
that was like the huge compliment of my life.
Wow. Melba says Karen's mushroom sauce is so good and so easy. As a friend, I used to say um, you could eat that on a phone book.
That mushroom sauce is so good if you like mushrooms.
I actually do. Um, let's see, Dallas Country Scratcher 2. Karen, I just came from your home.
Oh, thank you.
Um, let's see, there was a couple more here. So TL Slots wants to know, do you use a scale, a food scale?
Yes. When I bake, I like to use a food scale. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it really makes a difference as far as like weighing the flour and the sugar, because what a lot of people do when they're baking is they take a measuring cup, right? And they have a canister of flour, and they take the measuring cup and they scoop it in there. And what
Okay.
you're doing is you're compacting the flour inside the cup.
Okay.
So the recipe is not going to turn out the same as if you use a food scale.
Okay. Okay. Millie Love Slot says, do you use all recipes on YouTube to make some of the delicious food prep, Karen?
Do I use all the recipes on YouTube?
Yeah, I believe that's what she says. Do you use all recipes on
Oh,
YouTube?
all recipes. Yeah. If she's talking about all recipes, the recipe site, they have tons of recipes on there.
Yeah, that I believe that's what she's talking about. All
Yeah,
recipes.
that I get recipes from there, definitely.
So are there any recipes that you've had handed down to you from, your grandmother or mom?
Yes. Oh, yes. Can I just tell you one thing I'm super excited about?
Sure.
One of my kind of, you know, how you, if you have a channel that you kind of really look up to in your niche that
Yes.
you've been watching for a long time that's a lot bigger than you. Well, I have one, it's called Yester Kitchen, and she has like, I don't know, a lot of followers. And we sort of became friends, 6 months ago. And she just wrote a cookbook. And all her recipes are vintage. That's why it's called Yester Kitchen. Her YouTube channel is all about recipes from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And she just made this cookbook, and she picked 15 people to provide a recipe from their childhood that is their most beloved. And she asked me to be part of the cookbook. And it's my grandma's German potato soup. So I'm in the book.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, I'm so excited.
That is so
And
awesome.
it's a lot of work to write a cookbook. I mean, a huge, huge amount of work. And so, I had to be in contact with her for so many times about going over the manuscript and, oh no, we need to change this line and do this and this. And I just cannot wait to see. It's coming out in May, so I'm just so excited for it.
That is too cool. Dallas Country Scratcher 2 says, Karen, what's your favorite recipe?
That is just too impossible. That's like, what's your favorite? Well, I guess you could say, what's your favorite slot machine? But
Dragon Link.
yeah, right. Me too. Dragon Link. Hello, I'm total a Dragon Link girl. But I don't have a favorite recipe. That's just too hard for me. Now, if you would say, would I rather make a savory dish over a sweet dish? I'm gonna say savory. I'm no expert pastry chef, but I prefer to make like chicken dishes, or I love casseroles. Anything kind of like a comfort food to me is what I like.
That's very cool. Yo Ann says you should start compiling for your own cookbook.
I should.
And
But
Shaka
once I
Slots
saw all the work that goes into making a cookbook, I don't know if I can do it.
and
It's
Shaka
a lot
Slots
of
is in
work.
the house. He says hi to me and you.
Oh, who's in the
Um,
house?
Shaka Slots.
Oh, hey, Shaka.
He's in Hawaii right now.
I
Slot
know.
Savvy PK is in the house. Thank you for coming in, Slot Savvy. Um, okay, so we know that you don't want to. It's like a child, right? You don't want to say that's my favorite over that one.
Right.
But what is the toughest thing that you've had to cook?
Oh boy, the toughest thing I've had to cook.
Where you've had to
Um,
do it several times to get it right,
yeah. Oh my goodness. You know what? I would have to say it is Okonomiyaki. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
It is a Japanese street food, and my husband loves it. So he tried to teach me how to make it. It's cabbage, eggs, a little bit of flour, onion, and it's like a pancake. It's like a Japanese pancake, and he loves it. So I tried to make it, and it took me like 3 tries to finally get it to where it was what he would call good.
Okay. But now you've mastered it, right?
Yeah, I know how to make it now.
So Joanne says that is so damn good.
Oh, she's had it.
I'm assuming she has. She said
Yeah,
yes, that is so damn
it's
good.
delicious. And I have a video on it if anybody wants to learn how to make it. It's so good.
So I actually am going to make your Philly cheesesteak egg rolls tomorrow.
Oh,
So we
nice.
we got the egg roll wrappers and everything. So I will definitely be trying that out tomorrow.
Did
Um,
you get the provolone cheese?
yes, I did.
And make sure you put the extra slice in there.
I will because I love the cheese, but the bell peppers. I'm all about the bell peppers and onions. So
Yeah, me
uh,
too.
I absolutely.
Yeah, my dream is to go to Philadelphia and get like a real authentic cheesesteak.
Okay. That was going to be one of my next questions. That was going to be one of my next questions. If you could go anywhere and eat anything, where would that be?
Oh, that's easy, Paris.
Paris.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went there for 3 weeks, um, uh, a while back, and I went all over France actually, but Paris has the best food hands down.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rocket Slot
they
says
can
he's
make
coming.
anything taste delicious.
Right. As long as you don't put ketchup on it, you're good to go.
Oh, they would not be happy with that. And the thing is, their portions are so different than here in America. Here it's like, oh, just put on as much on the plate as you can get, right?
Yeah.
You go up to a restaurant and you feel like if you don't get like a huge serving, you're getting like ripped off. Well, there, everything is like a smaller size, but it's so rich and it's so flavorful. It's it's just amazing.
Dallas Country Scratcher says if you want a great Polish sausage, go to Chicago, Maxwell Street.
Chicago has great food. The deep dish pizza and all that kind of stuff.
Slots of Ben says Slots of Ben. He's been in the restaurant business for a while. He says French fries are called fried potatoes there, of course. Um, let's see who else we got. I hear your little babies in the
Oh my
background.
gosh, I'm so embarrassed.
No, don't
I
be.
knew it was gonna happen. They've been so good.
Don't be.
Yeah,
Um,
the one that's barking, she's 2 pounds. She's this big. She's
and
16 years old. She has no teeth. She's practically blind and she can't walk on either front legs. And
oh
the
wow,
poor little thing, she's just so helpless and she's very demanding. She's our little diva. So
that reminds me of my little Maltipoo. We were talking about dogs before we started the
yeah,
interview.
I'm huge into dog rescue and dog. All my dogs are rescues. They're all like senior dogs, and they all have issues.
Okay, so why do you watch slop videos? We're gonna jump from your niche back to the slop
Yeah.
niche. But tell me what draws you. Oh wait, hold on. Anthony R says, Karen, what's your favorite cuisine? Italian, French, Asian, or other?
Oh, Asian.
Asian.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you into sushi? Are you
So we
into
are huge sushi level lovers. Huge. Yeah.
same here? I absolutely love sushi.
Yeah.
Oh,
My mother-in-law is 100% Japanese. She makes the best sushi ever.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Homemade.
Yeah.
So
So
there's
the
a
reason I what so the question was why do I like slot channels?
yes.
Because I love slots. And like I said, I wanted to be a slot channel. And there's just something about watching people play slots. If I can't be there to do it myself, I
Okay.
like seeing other people do it. And, just it's relaxing to me. Like if I'm, had a busy day or editing my film videos or whatever, like at the end of the night, I will sit down and watch people's slot channels. And that is totally relaxing to me.
That's your de-stressor.
It's my de-stressor.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Shaka Slots wants to know, have you cooked any Hawaiian food on your channel?
I don't think I have. And
Shaka, send her some recipes.
yes, please do. I would love to cook a Hawaiian recipe, Shaka. Please, my email's in my about section. Send me a recipe.
Well, hey, that goes out to everybody in the chat. If you have a good recipe that you would want her to try, send it over to her. She'll make
Yeah.
a video for it, and then your recipe will be famous. Olga Rosas, there you go.
Yeah, Olga.
Um, they want to know, Dallas Country Scratcher 2 wants to know why Asian is your favorite cuisine.
it's because my husband is Asian, and I learned to love Japanese food. We've been together 16 years, so I just have a love for that. And Chinese food, like, who doesn't love
Yeah,
Chinese food, right? I mean, you go out for Chinese, you get takeout Chinese. And I
exactly.
love Thai food. I love like fresh Thai spring rolls, and all the kind of Thai food. So yeah, but
Spicy
like,
or non-spicy or non-spicy?
not spicy. I am a
Oh,
spice wimp.
oh, I
That's another
love.
issue with my channel. Sometimes I feel bad because I don't make recipes that are spicy, because
Okay.
I just can't handle anything spicy. Whereas my husband Chris, the spicier the better. No matter what I make, he piles on the sriracha, he piles on the hot sauce, and I just can't do it.
Okay. Yo Ann says poke bowls are her favorite. I love
Oh
poke
yes,
bowls.
that's a great idea, Ange. I will do a video on poke bowls for sure.
That would be awesome for sure.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so Shaka's gonna send you some recipes.
Oh, great.
Uh,
I would love that.
let's see. Yeah, so Asian food. Have you been to Japan?
No, I haven't. And we were going to go at one point, but then we never ended up because, well, a few years ago, because, the pandemic started and everything. But I would love to go to Japan someday because my husband was born in Japan, and I would really like to go there. But here's the problem. I hate to fly. And when I say hate to fly, anything over an hour is just torture for me. So the thought of being on a plane for 16 hours, I just cannot fathom it. So I don't
So
know.
Sister Yoshi says she needs to find a man to cook for her because she doesn't cook.
Oh, well, just watch my videos. They're really easy.
So Japan, what is your favorite restaurant in San Francisco? Because you live in San Francisco area.
I live outside of San
Yeah.
Francisco. So there's so many great restaurants in San Francisco. It's really hard to choose. I don't know. And the funny thing is, we don't really, even though we're close to San Francisco, we don't really go there that often. Just because it's very hard to find parking, and the restaurants are really expensive. So there's a lot of other like suburbs near San Francisco that have great restaurants. So we generally go to them. But if you like prime rib, I would highly recommend the House of Prime Rib in San Francisco. They have the best.
Really, the House of Prime Rib, is that down by the financial district, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
They've been
yeah,
around for like 100 years.
yeah. I
And you
remember.
need a reservation like 6 months in advance or 4 months in advance, but it's well worth it.
So Shaka Slot says you have to do a loco moco recipe, which is basically just a hamburger
With
patty
rice
fried
and
with.
a soft cooked egg. Yes,
Yeah,
I know that recipe, and I'll do it.
there you go. And then
Yeah.
Dallas Country Scratchers wants to know, would you want to do a cooking show with Martha Stewart?
Oh, that would be awesome. Yes, of course. Who wouldn't?
I think Martha Stewart's actually getting ready to do a cooking show with Snoop Dogg, but
Yes, she is teamed up with Snoop Dogg, and that has totally kind of changed her persona. She
yes,
actually just came out with a new wine, Martha Stewart Chardonnay. I can't remember the exact title, but it's because Snoop Dogg has his own wine too, right? It's called Cali
exactly.
Red and Cali Rosé, and so they've teamed up, and now they each have a wine. So
Yeah. So
she's definitely like going for the younger demographic because of Snoop Dogg, and it totally is working for her.
well, it definitely is. They have. I'm going to change subjects and I'm going to tap into this a minute. But they have a few restaurants. I work in down in West Hollywood, Cedar Sinai Medical Center. It's adjacent to Beverly Hills, but the West Hollywood area, they have a restaurant that opened up that basically cooks everything with cannabis oil or CBD oil.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
and so the Snoop Dogg thing just sort of triggered that. So
Yeah.
they have a whole tasting menu and everything. Haven't been there myself, but I heard that it's an interesting an interesting restaurant, and there's a wait to get in. So
Oh, interesting. I
yeah,
bet. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well that whole market is definitely exploding.
exactly. So I'm wondering if there's going to be um, cooking shows coming up with that. I mean, it's
Yeah, I wondered that
legalized.
too. I wonder that too. And I also wonder, are there cooking videos that show how to make like, edibles that are candy with,
It,
infused things and that kind of thing? I don't know. I haven't looked, but I bet there is.
Joanne says, "Well, we do love some edibles with the laughing emoji." So hey, there's a market out there. So
It
uh,
is.
um,
Let me just tell you, it's huge in California.
oh, without a doubt.
I mean, everybody from housewives to grandmas to there's like no stigma to it anymore. Everybody does it because of arthritis or whatever.
Glaucoma, or
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
stubbed my big toe last night. So
Exactly.
there is all of that. So Karen, I what I can't get out of here yet. I do have a couple of announcements to make. Thank you so much for being on the show. But everybody, we have three announcements to make. Um, One, keep your notifications on over the weekend. There will be some surprise lives. Don't know where, don't know what, but there will be some surprise lives. Monday, I have two shows. I have a morning coffee with RhinoMan. That'll be early Monday morning. And then I have an afternoon coffee with RhinoMan. And that is going to be The Good Life 88. He's going to be on the show. It's going to be a fantastic show. Monday, May 7th, we are going to have Gamblers Unknown in here, who's also the creator of Major Chaser Facebook page. We're going to be talking about the Megathon event that's coming on March 12th. I'll be in that. We'll have several channels coast to coast and everywhere in between doing 30-minute lives all day long. It's going to be kicked off on TikTok by Slots of Ben, who's in the house right now. Slot Bets, thank you for coming in. JJ Slot Play, thank you for coming in. So that will be fantastic. Then Saturday, this was just in. So anybody in there in the chat that's here, you're here for this event. It's being announced right now on April 9th. Um, that's a Saturday, April 9th. We're going to have a Hit It and Quit It event, Yamava edition. So if you'd like to be part of that, you're going to be in California at that time and you want to participate in the Hit It and Quit It event, similar to the one we had in Vegas, but this is the Yamava edition. Either contact me, contact Chumba. We'll put you on a list. We'll see if we could get enough people involved to join this event. But you'll need to be in California because everybody's going to be at Yamava for that specific event. Karen, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence today. Really appreciate you coming on the show. I do want to check back in, make sure you make that Loco Moco shakas. I
Don't
appreciate you.
worry. You'll see it in the next couple weeks.
I do appreciate you watching all of the videos and helping support all the slot channels. I enjoy your videos. I enjoy your recipes. I'm going to continue to watch, continue to um, support you and all of the things that you're doing over there on YouTube for your cooking channel. And I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you everybody for watching my videos. I cannot thank you enough. So I really appreciate you all and everybody who has a slot channel. I love your channels. And yeah, so it was really fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, guys. Until next time, let the good times roll. We will talk to you then. Love you.